One of my favorite things about collecting vintage LEGO is that just when you think you've seen it all, something pops up out of nowhere and completely surprises you with the fact that it exists. Today's set is just such a thing. If you were around in 1990, you could have visited every Toys R Us or KB in the world and you never would have seen it. There weren't any LEGO stores in the US then, but that wouldn't have mattered either. But it exists. There are physical instructions for it. And it's one of the most unique sets in all of Tron. So let's strap in and find out what made this not just a Space Voyager, but a Secret Space Voyager. Welcome to TrikBrix. Hello everyone, I'm Jamie, and today we're going to continue our Tron Retrospective by taking a look at a pretty interesting set, 6862 Secret Space Voyager. The thing that makes this one so unique isn't solely the build, although it does stand out from the crowd for its interesting combination of both space and land vehicles. But what's most unique about it is the way it was offered to consumers. As I said in the intro, you couldn't just pop into the local toy store and pick this thing up. Instead, a special offer was made available to LEGO Shop at Home customers wherein you could purchase 3 Tron sets together: the Particle Ionizer, Celestial Forager, and Vector Detector. And as an added bonus, you'd receive the instructions to build the Secret Space Voyager, which was achieved by cannibalizing these 3 sets. So, according to set instructions, you'd end up with a ship consisting of 254 pieces and 3 minifigures, and the 3-set bundle cost $41.85 from Shop at Home. I actually got that price from the back of this catalog from 1992, so it's likely that this promotion was put together to clear out some old stock, since at that point all of these sets were over 2 years old. Needless to say, there's no box for this one, and the physical instructions are incredibly hard to come by and ridiculously expensive. So we're just gonna jump straight into the review. First, just a super quick look at the minifigures, since they're identical to all the rest we've seen in this series. Black helmet with trans neon green visor, classic smiley face, red shirt with the M logo, white pants, and black oxygen tanks. They also get a few accessories to use, but we'll check those out as we make our way through the ship. This thing definitely has a unique look when compared to the other Tron vehicles, and I'd venture to bet that if this had been an actual set release, we probably wouldn't have seen quite as much going on as we do here. You can see that the front is just littered with all sorts of interesting greebles. Most of these could either be seen as weapons or various sensor arrays, totally up to your imagination. And I really like the look of all these swooped back wings or winglets. And I think if we were giving out an award for the most Tron logos in a single set, this guy might win it. We've got a total of 6 here, scattered all over this front section on various slopes and tiles. I always love rubber hose detailing, so these 2 flanking the cockpit look pretty cool. And if we go ahead and open the windscreen, we'll see that said cockpit is large enough to accommodate 2 minifigures, and of course has one of the ever-present printed console tiles. You'll also notice that these parts on the side are built on hinges, so they've got some adjustment, as did these wings. I really like the look of the thrusters under here, and perhaps you could see this as the landing mode, with the engines up, and then they drop down when the ship takes flight. You've also got these little bits on the end that can be adjusted however you like. Continuing rearward, we have a storage container on each side, with this one holding a trans neon green modified 1x1 brick, and the other side containing one of these guys. I think this is totally meant to represent a space fork for eating space spaghetti. Space-getty. Another detail mirrored from side to side are the walkie-talkies clipped to the rear of the wings here. More lasers/sensors reside up top, 2 of which are adjustable, with the front one sporting this classic 1x1 printed tile. 3 vertical stabilizers up here give the ship a distinctive look in my eyes, especially the 2 red ones at the front. But the single most defining feature of the Secret Space Voyager has to be these large wheels out back. When first researching the theme for this retrospective, this set immediately stood out to me because this whole back section just looks so odd. I wasn't really sure what was supposed to be taking place here, and if you feel the same way, you're in luck, cause I'm about to show you. This is by far the most awesome play feature present here, in my eyes anyway. You've got a lot of hinges and magnets built in throughout, and if we begin to unfold things, out rolls one of the toughest looking little moon rovers the Tronians have in their fleet. While the beefiness of this thing is what I love about it, there's also some pretty commendable detail here. Another printed tile like we saw in the main cockpit, a pair of steering levers, a bit of a roll bar on either side, and if we pull out the driver, we'll see a red slope decorated with the vertical grille printing. These ground sensors have a nice range of motion, looking cool in just about any position you put them in, and the spoiler here is home to another hinge brick with a pair of trans neon green cones. Lastly, we have a magnet at each end of the rover, and this thing is tall enough that it has no trouble transporting any other small storage containers you might have in your collection. This is definitely a cool little build, and it may actually be my favorite part of the set. So while the rover is out doing his roving, what's left for the main ship to do? Admittedly, it looks kinda weird without anything back here, so let's fill her up. We'll see these large containers again in the next Tron episode when we take a look at the awesome Megacore Magnetizer. But here, they make for a pretty decent way to fill up this empty cargo area. This kinda gives the Secret Space Voyager a bit of a freighter feel in my opinion. I'm sure you guys could also come up with some other pretty cool cargo ideas to go back here. Some fuel containers, maybe a laser gun platform with room for figures to move around, kind of like an attack helicopter. Or perhaps this space could house a removable mobile command station. So many different ways to make this your own. But it looks like the rover's back. One last little feature can be squeezed out of the set if we have our driver do a bit of a wheelie as he drives up here, pulling the rear support in behind him. Then just drop the top and you're ready to blast off. Without question, this is the most unusual set in the theme. Everything from its design to the way it was offered to consumers. While most people's favorite Tron set is going to be the one we see in the next episode, I'd argue that this one is probably the rarest one to find, especially with the instructions. Sure, the 3 separate sets you need to build it are easy enough to come by, but specifically finding one of these for sale isn't something you see all that often. And doing an eBay search for LEGO 6862 is going to yield almost nothing but Superman vs. Lex Luthor sets, since LEGO decided to give it the exact same set number. Yet another oddity surrounding the Secret Space Voyager. That said, if you do find it for sale, you can expect to pay anywhere from $80 to $100, and that's most definitely without the instructions. I've never actually even seen those for sale, so I can only guess that they'd probably worth about the same price as the actual set. Luckily, scans are readily available online. LEGO would release instructions in 1993 for a similar offering from Tron 2, but that's a review for a different day. Until next time, thanks for watching, take care, and play well!